You're good to go.
Okay, I'd like to welcome everybody to the Public Safety Committee on September 3rd, 2024 at 11:40 a.m. And we're doing this meeting by remote. There are 5 items on the agenda, and let's see who's here today. We have Chief Sam Ongst and the Assistant Chief. We have Vincent, I'm trying to read here, Vincent Palizzi's Councilman Vincent Palizzi, Janice Frank, our city clerk, and Chris Black, our IT person. Chief, it looks like you're running this whole meeting here today. Let's go to number 1, resolution authorizing an agreement between the Williamsport Borough of Fire and Air Cleaning System. Are you there? Chief, if you're saying anything, you're muted.
Sorry, I can hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now.
All right, what this
I saw the lips moving.
Yeah, what this resolution is we currently have a system at fire headquarters, well, all the fire stations. It's an air extractor system, so they hook up to the trucks. These hoses hook up to the trucks, and when they start the diesel trucks up, it sucks the carbons and all the bad stuff out of the firehouse so that the guys aren't breathing this stuff. It causes a lot of cancers, and past administrations have not upkeeped this with the maintenance of it. So it requires a lot of work to get it back up and running. So we got a quote there. It's a sole source. There's only one company that does it. We got a quote for $30,000 to upfit the whole system. That's all new high heat hoses, magnetic grips, so that when the trucks pull out the door, the exhaust unhooks naturally and it doesn't rip off, that type of thing. So it's a complete revamp of the system so that our firefighters aren't breathing in this nasty stuff.
Vince, do you have any questions?
No questions. This is pretty standard, proactive safety equipment that's needed.
Yeah, we also tried to get a grant for this last year, and unfortunately we didn't get the grant. So
Well, since we supposedly have a good grant writer, we can go through that, but I can't believe that previous administrations don't look at things like this that are so vitally important to keep our first responders healthy instead of creating problems for their lives down the line. I'm happy that we're going through all the process that we're going through at this point for everything. And, I know money has been tight in the past, but I think there comes a point where you've got to the person's health comes first. As far as I'm concerned, you're putting your lives on the line as it is. And we've got to make everything as possible to make everything right. So yes, I think this is going to be fantastic. Don't understand a word I was reading about it. But I assume what I was reading sounds really good. And you said it's coming out of the fire capital, funded through the fire capital projects line. Is there how much is that in that line? Do you know? If not, it's not a problem.
This is substantially a lot less than what we have budgeted for in there. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And how soon will you be able to get this once it's passed?
The guy's waiting right now. He's ready to schedule as soon as we get this passed.
Fantastic. Okay, great. The next item on the agenda, and I lost my here it is. Next item on the agenda, number 2, resolution authorizing an agreement between the Williamsport Bureau of Fire and Whitmore. Is that how you say it, Whitmore?
Yep.
Buick Chevrolet. Yep, again.
Okay. Before we go any further, I wanted to let you know that Lieutenant Kenny Smith is here. He's sitting in. He's shadowing Chief Lucas. He's most likely going to be our next deputy chief when Chief Lucas retires on December 28th. So just wanted to bring him in. He hasn't had an opportunity to sit in on one of these meetings.
So we wanted to give him the opportunity to see how it's run. So,
Chief Lucas, I didn't know you were leaving us this soon.
Yep, the end of the year.
Oh, is that why we have the big grin on your face?
Yeah, sort of.
Okay, it's all in the open now.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, let's go with the Buick Chevrolet.
Okay, so yeah, the chief's vehicle, Chief Lucas and I have been sharing, a truck for the last couple years, well, the last 2 years, 2.5 years. And it's been quite cumbersome. If he has a meeting that he needs to go to, let's say out at county, and then I have a meeting, up in Woodward Township, go on separate locations, I end up having to take my personal vehicle, or he takes his personal vehicle, depending on things. We've always had it before where the police, or police, the deputy chief and the chief have had their a vehicle allotted to them, for use for work. And right now it's, sometimes we have to take our gear out of that truck, put it into another truck. So we're proposing bringing back the chief's vehicle again. A lot of the pictures and stuff that you see over the last the 150th anniversary, that was you see the chief's buggy, they called it. So this truck is our answer to that. And we reached out through CoStars and hooked up with Whitmoyer, who is also the company that we dealt with the codes department with their vehicles. So the CoStars contract came in at $54,100 for the truck. So we're pretty happy about that. And that will come out of the capital projects budget.
And is the full amount 54,100, is that covered completely?
That is that's for the truck. We do have 50,000 in there right now for this truck. But we are able to pull it from other locations within the budget.
Vince, I'll go to you first and then I'll ask my questions. Vince, where are you? I lost you.
I'm here.
Oh, there you are. Okay.
So, Chief Unks, you mentioned that you're bringing this back. What happened to it that it ceased?
Great question. Not really sure. We had a truck, but then we had promoted an inspector. So the inspector needs a vehicle to be able to go and do his job. So
Our second vehicle went.
yeah, the second vehicle had gone to him. So that's why we're down to one vehicle that we're going back and forth with. We recently had the flooding, and during the flooding, Lieutenant Smith was going up all over, and he was towing the boats with the chief's vehicle. So we were handling calls in our personal vehicles, and so.
So we didn't actually lose a vehicle. We just need an additional vehicle now because we've had to move one of them.
Correct. Yes.
Okay, reallocate, I guess. So
Reallocate.
So it's my understanding then that your vehicle then will become the new assistant chief's vehicle, and Assistant Chief Lucas's old vehicle now is the codes fire inspector vehicle.
Correct.
Okay, gotcha. All right. That makes sense.
Sorry.
No worries. No worries. I just like to try and make sure I understand exactly what's going on. So, okay. Looks like a pretty standard 1500 Silverado.
Yep, it's a little bit different than the one that we have now, but that was pretty much all they had in stock. So.
All right, thank you.
Is this going to include the decals? You're gonna have decals, right?
No, the decals will come out of another line item.
Okay, okay. Yeah, just to be sure. And all the emergency equipment, are you gonna have emergency lights on this also?
Yes, yeah, it'll
Okay.
have lights. The upfitting will include a cap for on the bed of the truck, lighting, emergency lighting, scene lighting, the decals, and radios
Yeah, sorry.
and the siren.
That's the important one.
Yeah. Woo-woo.
Uh, okay, I'm making my notes. Anyhow, I do have a question that maybe is, this goes back several years, and I think this goes back to when Chief Heimbach was the fire chief. And I remember he was coming in at a meeting, and we were looking for different ways of using equipment. And what he stated and what we were kind of appalled at is that when he was called out on a fire, that he had to, the buildings and their architecture and everything else were nothing but paper. And he'd have to pull all these out if there was a fire somewhere. Am I making sense with this?
Yes, yes.
Is that
So-
still being done that way?
No, actually, the software that we have now, emergency reporting and our I am responding software. They're two separate softwares, but we are moving into ESO from emergency reporting. It's the same company, just a different software formatting. They and I am responding work together. So we'll be able to pull our pre-plans and put them all right on into the software. And whenever we're dispatched, we'd be able to pull up that address. So it would come right up, and then click on that, and there would be icons that we could pull the pre-plans up and everything. What Chief Heimball was referring to were paper pre-plans that we had binders for, and that's how we used to have to look up the pre-plan. A pre-plan is where the nearest hydrants are, what's the water flow from that hydrant, what water main is it on, where the FDC is there any hazardous materials that are stored in there in bulk. Pretty much anything and everything that we would need to know is included in a pre-plan.
So this makes your life easier and you're not carting around all these big binders.
Correct. Much, much easier.
We were all appalled that that's what was happening, and that really wasn't that long ago, Chief. It really wasn't.
No.
And people don't realize how hard your job was made because you had to go through all of these. And it's, I'm happy to hear that we're going through a better process at this point. It's safer and quicker at this point too.
Yep.
Okay, Vince, any other questions, Vince?
Nope, not regarding this. Thank you.
Okay, next item on the agenda is resolution authorizing an agreement between the Williamsport Borough Fire and Motorola Solutions.
Okay. So this is basically, I think it was 12 years ago. Was it 12 years ago?
Roughly, yeah.
Roughly 10 to 12 years ago, we purchased new radios. They're called P25 capable radios. This is a new radio system that the county and the state is going to. Basically going from analog to digital. We have used these radios quite extensively, and we are looking now at starting to replace some of them. Some of them are starting to get worn out from the exposure to heat or, what have you. So we are looking at purchasing 2 portable radios at a cost of $14,593.82.
Vince, any questions?
These are portable, chief? So
Yes.
it's like they'll clip on your belt?
Yeah. Yep.
Now, just to help me out here, and can you give me a little bit of context as far as a layman when it comes to radio capability? You know, I'm looking at this, even with our discount on these through CoStars. Help me understand why a handheld radio would cost $6,600 a piece.
Well, basically, a portable radio is what you used to call a walkie-talkie. But the walkie-talkies are a lot more, like I said, gone from analog to digital. So there's a lot more computer processing, things like that that are involved with those radios, so that they can communicate with other radios and our 911 center. So I can't explain why they're so expensive, other than the computers, the processing that goes on inside of them.
Okay. And I see here each one of these has 5-year essential service built into the price.
Right.
Is it pretty much like a warranty service contract that if,
Yes.
so we should figure that we'll have these for at least 5 years.
At very least 5 years. Yes. Yep.
Okay. Okay.
And like I said, what was it, 32 I think we had 32, we have 32 radios right now. And all of those radios are in the neighborhood of 10 to 12 years old.
Gotcha.
Vince, that was a question I was going through with these numbers, and it's like, it's hard to believe that two pieces of small equipment cost that much. For a lay person that's not into this, it really is kind of astounding. The radios that you got 10 to 12 years ago, that was from Skip Smith's company, wasn't it?
That I'm not sure of. I believe it was.
Because he did a lot of radio work. The thing that was bothersome with that is that those radios were not synced up to the county at all. And
Right.
and that was really a major problem. And and you just can't, we weren't working together with the county for some reason. And is this going to be corrected at this point?
Absolutely, absolutely. Fortunately, right now we have a lieutenant who used to work out at county. He handles our radios, and making sure that the radios are programmed properly, that we're getting the radios that we need. And then we also have another firefighter who was hired 2 years ago, and he also used to work at county, so he has that experience as well. The radios, when we first purchased them 10 years ago or so, they were not programmed. They didn't come pre-programmed. So we had to purchase, and I think we bought them as a group. So it was the city, Woodward, Old Lake Cummings, South,
or was it Du Bois?
Town. There were 4 or 5 different departments that went together to purchase them. And then one of Du Bois Town's assistant chiefs is a computer and radio guy, and he wrote out a program to have the radios programmed. So he was able to get that accomplished, and I think that's how we did that back then.
Yeah, it just seemed very foolish for somebody. I was listening to the going through all these meetings with that, and when you don't know the technical language, but in your heart that there's something not right. Does that make sense? But you
Yeah.
don't know how to ask it. The other thing that I remember is that there were dead spots in the city. Is that cleared up at this point?
Somewhat, we did purchase a repeater system that we have on one of the trucks. So when we get to an area like that, it is able to boost the signal and make sure that it gets sent out.
Which is good, because that was another area that was it's kind of frightening to think that there are still dead spots in the area.
Yeah. And it honestly, they're not really dead spots. They're very weak spots. So when the transmissions are sent out, they're very scratchy. There are locations in the county that over the last few years, they've built more towers on the mountains. And throughout the county, there's a number of known dead spots, like completely dead spots. They have no, you're not able to radio out, you're not able to make a cell phone call, anything like that. So the county is aware of those issues, and they are making an effort to correct them.
Okay, glad to hear that.
So one other thing you said about the expense of the radios, anything that you put in there pretty much for public service or public safety or fire, you could buy a mouse. And if you say this is a mouse for fire departments, automatically you're going to double the price. So it is what it is. And there's a number of tools that we use that, Joe Blow off the street could purchase for, we'll say $10, but the fire department, they're charging $25 because it's a fire department tool. So
is it just because of the name fire, or is it because there are extra things put into it?
Because I think that it's because a lot of it is because they know that we need these things, and they know they can get the money for it.
That is a darn shame. I mean, this is a safety factor with citizens. That is horrible, absolutely horrible. But it happens in a lot of different areas. We all know that one.
Absolutely.
Vince, any other questions? Do you have anything else you want to add?
Yeah, I just had one other question. Thanks, Mike. Chief, the last line item number on page 2, line item number 6 regarding these audio accessory remote speaker microphone.
Yes.
Is this what I see? It's like the corded mic and speaker that comes up out and then clips up onto your.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah,
Like
and I believe it says, does it say HT on that? I don't see it. Oh, page 2 here. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, these are high impact green, but they're also high temperature. So the plastic that they use is a little bit different than, say, one for a police officer. It's able to take the temperatures to the extreme temperatures that firefighters would see.
Okay. All right. No. I get it. These are necessary. Okay. Bonnie, I have no more questions. Thanks, Chief, for clarifying that.
You bet.
Okay. With that, let's go to number 4 on the agenda. Resolution authorizing agreement between the Williamsport Bureau of Fire and Keystone Communications.
Okay. So similar to the portable radios, we also carry pagers. Our guys we're on call pretty much 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Because if we have a fire, we call in off duty. And part of the notification system is having these pagers to notify us of an off-duty fire. So we have, the last time that we purchased a group of pagers was what, 4 or 5 years ago, I think.
I'm not sure, Chief.
It was about 4 or 5 years ago that we purchased them, and Our older ones, we phase them in. We have some that are Miniature 4s. Some guys are still using Miniature 4s, Miniature 5s, and now the Miniature 6s. So we're kind of going to start phasing some of these in to replace the older ones that are starting to fail.
So that we're not stuck with a bunch all at once.
Right.
Yeah.
So we're phasing them in, so they're not a bulk purchase that we have to buy 20 of them or 30 of them.
So you're doing it piecemeal then, that is.
Yeah,
Bill
yeah.
isn't gonna be astronomical at the end,
Exactly.
okay? Vince, do you have any questions?
No, not currently.
So, you know,
Or
my
if any-
first thought was this is everybody has a cell phone. Would it not be economical just to use the cell phones? But then a lot of people won't answer their cell phones at times.
We do get notification through I am responding on our cell phones, but some people don't have I am responding, and there is a delay at times with I am responding with some of the third party companies like that. These are actual, I say radios, they receive, but they can't transmit. And that comes straight from county. So when county sets off the off-duty tone, these will beep, or even if they set off the on-duty tone, they'll beep. There's different settings on, I don't know if you can see them, but
Yep.
there's different settings on these that you can set it for off-duty. So it'll only go off when the off-duty tone is transmitted by Lycoming County, or when you can put it on off-duty or on-duty, so that while you're on duty, like right now, and we get a call, it will beep.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
Bonnie, I remember these conversations last year when we were budgeting for this year. And I remember council had a bunch of questions about the cell phones and why don't we use cell phones. There's also a lot of dead space as far as cell phone coverage in the area too. So we can't just rely on cell phones.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, the pagers are the most reliable thing we have.
Which is so strange. The pagers have been in existence for decades, really,
Yeah.
And then, we're still using pagers. It's proving that it's a more efficient way of getting in touch with people, So what are you gonna do? Vince, did you have anything else you would like to add, or?
No, I mean, it's just, these are something that we have to have. I see you got the 3-year extended warranty. Now, is that 3 years additional on a standard warranty? So how many years in total then are these gonna be covered?
So it comes with 2 years and it's 3 additional, so you get a total of 5.
5 years?
Yep.
Okay.
But obviously, these are lasting longer than 5 years from
Yes.
having so many of them, so it's.
Well, that's good to know. We've got to make things last as long as we
Yeah,
possibly.
exactly. Listening to what you all are saying, I mean, you've got pagers out there for how old are some of them, and they're still functioning. But you can't take a chance because that you probably know that some of them are going to die shortly.
Correct.
Yeah.
So it is what it is.
Did you have something else there?
And the last item on the agenda is any related items. Chief, do you have anything to add at all?
I don't think so, other than, no, I don't think so.
No, you're good. You're good.
I
And
think we're okay.
Chief Lucas, you're going to be doing the countdown.
Yep.
I
Oh,
bet you
he's already been doing the countdown.
Yeah.
He just said 117 days.
I was gonna say, he's probably got it down to the minute.
Yeah.
God love you. And, I'm going to start it off with saying, thank you very much for everything you've done. And I know you're going to get the accolades more and more because it's been an interesting life, but also, it could be hard at times. So But anyhow, we will see you all on Thursday. And I'm sure some accounts will have questions about this. And I forgot to ask with the painters, you said it's coming out of ARPA funds. I'm sorry to circle back. Okay. And that was in a line item for do you know how much, I guess we're gonna have to find out from the person who's taking care of our ARPA funds to see how much is left and because we have to spend this at this point, this coming year. And it has to be accounted for. I don't think, and very many of us actually know of everything that's being done. I don't know where your budget item is with the ARPA funds either. So, but we should apply that.
I do have to say, we have been extremely confused this year. As far as especially our capital projects budget. That whole thing last year, to me, it just didn't seem like there was much communication. The 400,000 that was taken from our capital projects budget, and then it was replaced by 400,000 from ARPA. It's been completely confusing for us.
I agree with you because we use the term so many things that people are asking for, and we're saying ARPA funds. And, one of the things that was discussed, and I know you all are part of that one too, where could funding come from other sources instead of using ARPA that we could use for other areas? We don't know all the facts of all this, and I think it's probably been confusing for a lot of people. I know I am. I don't know where it's all landing, and we have really one more year to make sure this is all accounted for. We want to make sure it has been used efficiently, but we also want to make sure we use all of it. And,
Right.
and that's the thing that's, to me, we got to find out what's going on with that. But no, I agree with you. I think a lot of people, and I think you're going to have similar things with the budget this year for this also. So it is what it is. But anyhow, I'll let you guys go all work. And the person, what is your name, sir, that you're going to be taking Chief Lucas's place?
Kenny Smith.
Kenny Smith. Looking forward to meeting you in January.
Looking forward to it. Except for Vince. He seems a little shady.
Oh my
Kenny, I
God.
can see you.
Oh my goodness. Vince, they already got your number.
Yeah, we've met.
Oh my gosh. Okay, well, I thank you, everybody. And like I said, see you on Thursday. Take care.
Thank you.
Sounds good. Thank
Have
you.
a good day.
You
Stay
too.
safe, guys.
Thank
Yeah, you too.
Bye now.
See ya.